Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review, or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going. As I like to remind you each and every day, it expands our base. Today is not a normal day. Today is October 7th. 1 year ago today, the greatest massacre of Jews on a single day since the Holocaust took place in Israel. Why? It took place because Hamas was determined, and always has been determined, to destroy Israel. What they did was to come into the country, some 3,000 terrorists, and proceeded to attack, maim, rape, murder, destroy, burn, behead innocent civilians. It wasn't just Jews. There were others who were there as well. And they were murdered in cold blood. Why? It was not over the question of a two-state solution. It was purely and simply to destroy Jews, because the determination of Hamas is to eliminate Israel and Jews from the face of the earth. Jews around the world are in the midst of the high holidays, bracketed by Rosh Hashanah, which we just observed, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which is ahead. And during this time, we are told we must reflect, consider, and do penance in our own minds and hearts. I want you to be aware that this high holiday season for Jews around the world has been horrific. I listen to sermons on YouTube from all over the country, indeed all over the world. We are all affected, Jews and non-Jews, by the barbarism which took place exactly 1 year ago today. This is an important message from me to you, having to do with the political world. Today, Israel is striking Hezbollah in Lebanon. They're not fighting a war against Lebanon. They're fighting a war against Hezbollah, the army of God. And what is the determination of Hezbollah? It is not to gain land or territory for itself. It is to destroy Israel and Jews. And they built up an army to do just that. And what the Israelis are doing at this very moment is the ultimate act of self-defense. They are destroying the capability of Hezbollah to make war. I want to underline something. It has to do with Hamas, and it has to do with Hezbollah, and yes, it has to do with Iran. The goal of these powers is not justice for the Palestinians. It is the destruction of Israel. It is the murder of Jews. And nothing will satisfy them except for that conclusion. I sat with a well-intentioned friend who asked me about a two-state solution. And I said, Hamas does not advocate for a two-state solution. Hamas advocates for the destruction of Israel. Hezbollah does not advocate for a two-state solution. It calls for the destruction of Israel. Iran does not call for a two-state solution. Iran calls for the destruction of Israel. So why are we, in the West, Jews and Christians, so shaken by what happened 1 year ago today? Because the determination there was not a political determination. It was a determination to destroy Jews simply because they exist, simply because we are Jews. That was the reason, pure and simple. There will be much discussion in this presidential election of a solution to the Middle East conflict. Listen to me carefully. As long as Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and yes, the Palestinian Authority still yearn for the destruction of Israel, there can be no peace. For Jews, for non-Jews, for the world. If the answer to the cries of extreme Islam is simply a solution which says destroy Israel, that is something which is unacceptable. It should be unacceptable to all. There are protests now taking place throughout the world, defending Hamas, defending Hezbollah, defending the murder of Jews. There are even those, difficult as it is to believe, who say it never happened. The Jews are exaggerating again. The murder, the torture, the rape, the pillage of 1 year ago today didn't really happen. It's all a media myth. That's the kind of pernicious enemy that we all face. I do not say this lightly. I believe that there must be a way for men and women and children to live together in peace. But as long as the radical Islamists, as long as Iran, as long as Hamas, as long as Hezbollah, as long as too many in the Palestinian Authority call for the destruction of Israel, and yes, the destruction of Jews, there will be no peace. And may I say that it is vital that Israel be strong, that Israel be supported. Now more than ever, we must stand with Israel shoulder to shoulder, because we believe in Israel's right to exist, and we believe in Jews having the right to live freely anywhere in the world. What I'm saying now is not anti-Palestinian or anti-Lebanese. No, quite the contrary. When Egypt and Jordan, and yes, the Abraham Accords were implemented, Israel demonstrated that it was willing to live in peace with an enemy who would make peace. So, on this first anniversary, as we mourn the barbarism, I also mourn the indifference of too many in the world, the support by too many in the world of terror. We are now confronting a presidential election, and one thing I am grateful for: the United States of America, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, independents, stand together in their support for Israel, for a free, independent Jewish state, and for the right of the Jews to live freely, either in their homeland or in the land of their choice, freely as people of faith, people who are entitled not to suffer again as they did during the Holocaust, or as we have witnessed just 1 year ago today. So on this October 7th, I stop and reflect, and I am grateful that I live in a world in which there is an Israel. And I also have hope. The words of Israel's national anthem, Hatikva, the hope, that there will be peace. And I will reiterate the words which all Jews feel. Never again. Never again. That's a key word as well. And so on this anniversary, we pause, we reflect, we mourn, and we resolve. Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel, live.
Around the Political World with John Rothman is proud to introduce our first sponsor. That's right, we have someone who loves what we do, and I have to tell you, I love what she does. Be Bold America is produced by KSQD, and of course, the person who leads us through these great discussions is none other than Jill Cody. She's an author, a radio personality, and she does one heck of a job of putting into focus major issues, from protecting democracy to our climate. Let me tell you, the topics on the podcast are serious. It's not for the faint of heart, but that's to say the show is for all of us. Be bold in America. In an election year, what can we do to increase discussion, debate, and the rest? I'll tell you what we can do. Listen to Jill Cody as she exposes all of us to the issues. You can tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you like to get your shows. So this is John Rothman, delighted, pleased, thrilled to endorse Jill Cody's wonderful program, Be Bold, America.